Welcome to a new episode of Worlds Collide. I am your host, Viktoria, and I'm so glad that you tuned in today. So, in this episode, my guest is Nina, and we talk about the desire to move far away when you are really young. And for her, she started her life journey in the move of studying abroad in England, and that led to an international life and job and moving around to different countries worldwide. But we also talk about the grief that you feel when you move abroad and live far away, about the resilience, and of course her book. And another topic is bringing up a child abroad who has a rare health condition and finding a community around this. So these are all topics that we talk about today. So please stay here and enjoy Nina. But also I wanted to tell you how you can support the podcast. So one is, of course, subscribe. So just in the corner of your app, push the follow button and you will always hear a new episode when it's coming out. And then tell everybody about it, okay? That's always the best way. If you feel like it, then why don't you leave a 5-star rating wherever you listen to the podcast, or if you listen on Apple Podcast, then you could also write a sentence or two why you like the podcast. But I mean, that's of course an effort. So I understand. And there's also, if you feel super generous, then there is also Buy Me a Coffee, and you will find the link to that in the show notes. All right, so that's enough of that. So please stay tuned for my guest, Nina. All right, my guest today is Nina. How are you, Nina?
I'm very well. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for being here. So tell me, where are you calling from?
I am right now sitting in La Baule, France.
Oh, you are in France.
Yes,
okay.
I am. I'm on the Atlantic coast of France. So,
oh, nice.
I don't know if you've been here. Have you been here?
I've been there, yes, but not where you are. But I've been 2 years ago. I've been to the Normandy.
Ah, okay, that's not far.
That's not far. And then when I was younger, we went always camping, not always, but sometimes camping in Biarritz.
Oh, nice. That's further south.
Further south.
So I'm kind of in between Normandy and Biarritz.
Oh, nice. Yes. So, but where are you from originally?
I was born in Malaysia. So that's really far away from where I am right now.
Right.
And since then, I've lived in 5 other countries.
Uh-huh. And so how long is it ago that you moved away from Malaysia?
A long time ago. If I disclose it, you would think I belong in a museum.
Oh, really?
No, I left Malaysia as a teenager, actually, to study in England.
Okay.
And when I left, I did not think I would stay away as long as I have. And now I have lived outside Malaysia much longer than I have lived in Malaysia. And when I left to study. Therefore, I went alone without my mom, my dad, or anyone. And I didn't have any family in England as well. So that was, now looking back, I think, wow, that's crazy what I did, because that was before the internet, right? Before mobile phones. And so that is really far, because now distances are bridged by technology.
Right.
Because you can be where you are right now and we feel like we're in the same room. But then I couldn't really call my mom all the time or message her. I could just write her or call her once a month or every 2 weeks or whenever there is an emergency. But yeah, I left as a teenager. I think my parents are very chill and very cool parents, because it's like, bye. Okay, if you want, you can go. So since then I've lived in 5 different countries and I have worked in more than 45 countries.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
When you were a teenager, did you always have that feeling of moving away, to another country?
I have had that feeling since I was maybe 5 or 6 years old.
Okay.
Even before I was a teenager. I don't actually, when I think about it, I don't really know where it came from. But now I believe it is always inside me. That desire to be in a place that is not where I was born in. I have thought about this, of course, and it was definitely not television because I really didn't like the television as a child.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people who were watching a lot of TV programs, and they were dreaming about going to Miami or something because of Miami
Right.
50, or I don't know, some places, but I
Yeah.
was not thinking about it like that because I didn't really like the television. I even didn't like to watch cartoons as a child. I played a lot outside. I love making things, and I think I always wanted to have adventures. I think that was the beginning of it. So since I was 5 or 6 years old, I thought, I'm going to go somewhere else where everything is different than what I was experiencing then, which was beautiful. I played outside under big trees, and it was sunny every day. We had a lot of ideas, what to do, what to create all the time. So I
Uh-huh.
had a lot of ideas about having adventures. And then my uncle came back from England. He was studying in England at the time with
Uh-huh.
a pencil case, and on that pencil case there was this red double decker bus.
Uh-huh. Of course.
And somehow I was like, oh, wow, I've never seen a bus like that. And I've never been on that kind of bus. And it must be really fun. So I told my parents, and I think I was 6, 7 years old, and I said, I'm going to go and live in England.
Uh-huh.
And they were like, yeah, of course. Because,
Yeah, of
and
course.
that's the good thing about my parents. They never said, you can't do that, or
Uh-huh.
you can't do this, or they just said, yes, yes, of course. And yeah, as far as I can still remember, that was my dream. So when I pull it off, like I had the opportunity to study in England, I just
Uh-huh.
told my parents, can I go? And they said, sure. So
Nice.
I went at
Did
19. Yeah.
at 19. So back then, I don't know, it's probably different when you are so young, but were you preparing yourself in some way for it?
I think now when we talk about preparation as an adult, we think, oh, I have to gather all the information and have to make a plan, right?
Yeah,
How do I
exactly. Or like,
budget? How do I make friends? Who do I talk to? You start to look at all the Facebook groups or whatever platform on the internet.
yeah.
There was no internet at the time. I've never been to England. When I arrived in England, I've never been to England.
Yes.
So I didn't know anyone. Of course, I attended some presentations by the British Council in Kuala Lumpur. And of course, I spoke English. English was one of my favorite subjects.
Uh-huh.
So I was already fluent in English.
Okay. So that really helped.
Yes, yes. I couldn't have possibly studied in England without being able to speak English because that was definitely a requirement for the visa.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
You have
Okay.
to be able to, you have to have a very high level of English proficiency to go to English
Okay.
universities, right? Yes, so I already spoke English very well at the time. I think maybe the preparation was really theoretically made, like, can you speak English? Do you have all the paperwork? Can you pay for your studies? Do you know where you're going to go?
Right.
That kind of stuff, but not emotionally.
And not emotionally or culturally.
Not
Did you?
psychologically, culturally. I just thought, well, yeah, I didn't have the fear. Maybe I didn't think too much about that. I
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to go there. I was,
Okay.
and of course, one of the first things I did was to go on a double decker bus.
Yeah.
I was so
There it is. That thing from the
excited.
sticker.
Correct. I was just like, yes, this is my childhood dream came true.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so did you then also think you were in a different world?
Very much. Yes. But I think something is different now as an adult compared to when I was younger. When
Uh-huh.
you're young, the whole world is an adventure, right? I mean, everything
Right.
is also entangled. in your search for identity.
Yeah.
So you don't think too much about what you leave behind or what is coming towards you. You are excited. You
You're
are
excited.
looking at opportunities more than challenges or risk.
Yes.
you
Exactly.
know?
You don't think about the dangers too,
No danger. I didn't think there was any danger.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
No,
No,
no.
this is why you have parents. They worry for you. You don't worry when you're that
Yeah,
young.
I think now also now that I am a parent of a teenager, I think I worry more than my parents maybe as well
Oh, yeah.
because
Okay.
they also had a different view of the world because the
Mhm.
world wasn't as connected as it is
Yeah,
today.
maybe.
They were not bombarded by news of bombs or killings or whatever. They
Right.
knew that,
Exactly.
there are some life troubles, but the life troubles in England would be the same as the life troubles in Malaysia,
Right.
you know. And also, there was a lot of trust that I would be okay. Yeah,
Yeah, nice.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
very, very good of your parents.
Yes, when I look back and I think about it, I think that that was incredible. Like,
Uh-huh.
they raised my brother and I with a lot of trust that we will make good decisions, we will make good judgments, but they, of course, don't
Of
know
course I
everything that
did.
we did, right? I mean,
Yeah, so you're still alive,
exactly. I'm
Yeah,
still
so
here.
it worked out.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah,
And
I've always wanted to live an adventurous life.
like, was England the place where you stayed the longest?
No, I stayed the longest. I mean, eventually, I've stayed the longest now in the Netherlands.
Oh, in the
Yeah, in the
Netherlands.
Netherlands, because I was in England, then I was in France briefly, and then I was in Germany, and then the Netherlands, and now back in France. But I also work internationally, and that was
Mm.
also a conscious choice. I
Mhm.
always wanted to work internationally. Somehow, the idea of being in a multicultural environment, meeting different people, seeing different places, has always been very attractive to me.
Can you explain your version of working internationally a little bit? Is it more like traveling around, or are you always like staying in one place, let's say for a year or for two, and then you're gonna be in another place?
I have lived in different countries, more than 5 years each time.
Uh-huh.
So that means I have lived and worked internationally. But what I mean by that is I also had international jobs. I've always worked in international environment with different teams sitting in different
Mhm.
countries. When I was working in Germany, for example, I was heading the licensing unit for Bertelsmann, and I was heading up a business unit over 14 countries.
Oh
So I
wow.
was already traveling a lot in between the different countries. And
Mhm.
then I also, when I was working in Germany, I was the VP of international licensing for Data which was a software company where I also expanded their business to different countries outside Europe. So I was also working in Japan, in the US, and then I've been as an entrepreneur also scaling up my companies in different countries, and I have had clients in different countries. So I've worked for myself and for other companies across different, let's say, geographical borders. So
Okay.
I have had the times in my life when I was on the plane every week.
Oh wow. Yes.
So that was what I wanted.
Uh-huh.
All my life, I wanted to have that international career. And now I'm traveling a little bit less than before
Uh-huh.
because I have my daughters. And that is beautiful because that means I get the chance to spend more time with my children while they grow
Mhm.
up. However, I can't really switch lanes anymore in a way because my strength lies in international expansion,
Right, right,
and
right.
that's still my work. I'm still working across borders.
But then, like nowadays, as you said, it's not as hard anymore because of the internet. You're like connected so
Correct.
easily now.
Yes, in a way, COVID helped us a lot to change
Yeah.
the way we see distances,
Yes.
right? Because
Yes.
now we can do many things on Zoom and no one thinks that is
Is
weird.
weird.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So technology definitely is a big bridge now.
Yes. So, were you, when you were finished with your studies in England, was it then always for you, you wanted to find out more about the different countries or wanted to explore more different countries? Or was it also sometimes like, hey, I wish I could stay here a little bit longer?
I stayed in England for 10 years.
Oh, okay. That's a long
Yes, but
time. Yeah.
I've always had the dream to have an international job. In fact, just before I graduated, I started applying for all the international jobs. I applied for all the international, let's say, graduate programs, for international shipping companies, for banks, for whatever. In
Uh-huh.
fact, even for the Foreign Office as a
Okay.
diplomat. So I always wanted to work internationally. I believe it's because I've always had that desire to see the
Yes.
world and to be amongst people who are different from
Yes.
me. I don't know. I just wanted that.
But do you also remember like times when you were struggling because of the distance or because of all the differences?
Yes, of course. This is something that I think not many people talk about all the time. Is the grief that comes from migration,
Oh,
right? We see
right.
only the glamorous part. We see like,
Yes,
oh, you're
exactly.
on the plane, how amazing, you're doing this, you're there.
Especially when you look on social media, it is all just positive.
Yeah, but there is this grief always.
100%.
Even if you are happy, even if you have chosen that life, and I'm speaking for myself right now, you can have this grief from migration. And people don't talk about it because it's very confusing because you are happy and you have chosen that life. And they're like, but why do you grieve? And I think what you grieve about is layered, you know? You don't just grieve places. You grieve the way of being. You grieve the different parts of yourself, right?
Hmm.
For example, language. Du bist Deutsch.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to speak German because
Yes.
it's
No,
easy, you know?
it's easy. And you also, it's easier to speak your mind. Or
Genau.
like whatever. It's easier. Like there is a difference in explaining yourself or like speaking from the heart.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Mm-hmm.
it feels there's a different feeling that comes to it when you speak a different language. Doesn't is it for you
Yes,
too?
yes,
Yes.
yes. I now speak 5 languages, and I think,
Congratulations, that's a lot.
yeah, well, it's survival. It's actually
Oh,
just about survival, right? Um, and I think this grief is multi-layered, and you have language, then you have humor.
it's also
Then you have
different.
humor, and then you have the rhythm, the flow that is easier. Like, oh, you just even if we're not talking about Germany for you, we can talk about your present life. You have established a routine, a rhythm. And if you move, you have to redefine all that, right?
Yes.
And then there is for me also, I sometimes grieve the cultural shorthand. I don't know if you are aware of that term where you have like small sounds like I think in German you have like no, when you enter,
Ah,
you
yes,
say
I
no,
know.
right?
Uh-huh.
It's
Sure.
not really a word, but then when you say no, it's
Yeah.
familiarity, it's comfort, right?
Yeah.
And in Malay, we have also these kind of small sounds like la and 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 me, and they are like emotional glues. And sometimes I miss that. It's just like when you hear it, it brings a different feeling to your heart, right? So all this become an ongoing, never-ending grief. It's not like a grief that it's very complex because you can't really, there is no funeral or an ending, or you don't have the permission to grieve that. And also sometimes you think that people think you're not grateful for the life that you have such an amazing life, but you can't, and you choose this life, and therefore you don't have the permission to grieve. But it's a different kind of grief. It's a grief that shows that you still have a relationship with the versions of yourself, the different versions of yourself, right? And it changes also as you get older, because when I was young, I think I didn't have the vocabulary, nor the words, nor the voice for my grief. It was there in the background, but I was super excited, right? I was just like, and then you think, oh, maybe I can go back. But then there will come a moment where you will ask yourself, can I ever go back?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if you experienced that.
Did you ever go back?
I go back every year because my family is there.
But for a longer time, or just to visit?
Never. Just to visit. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did help you with that grief?
Oh, wow. I think this grief can sometimes also come unexpectedly. I don't know if it's helpful or it is triggering. For example, a smell of food can sometimes do that. I'm like, oh, I miss home, or a song, or a word. So it's the same thing that triggers me that actually helps me.
Right. Yes, because it's also nice memories.
Yeah. It's a version of you. It's because you have now new layers. So I'm sure you experience the same, right?
Yeah, no, I have that. I just had that recently, but it was a smell that triggered it. And then it was also like from like my life 15 years ago, which is like a totally different life, but doesn't matter where you are. You change no matter what, 15 years, you are a different person. But it's also like, it was so nice back then. I had such a great time. So it was like happy memories, but also sad memories, both at the same time.
Yes, and both can be true, that you can be happy and also sad at the same time. And I think now I have come to the point where I have to learn to integrate all that, the gratitude and the loss, together, and say, I consider that like a maturation of my process, because I went through the whole thing from maybe not really aware of what I left behind, and then to like, is there a way back? And then to say, this is it. I'm gonna learn to live with this. Yeah.
Yes.
Acceptance.
Yes. And is this also, because you also wrote a book, it's called The Home Within. Is this also part of your book?
Yes, my book is actually about all this. It's about the practice of finding home, because over time, I realized that so much has happened inside me because of the changes and the experiences that I have had in my life. Some of them, of course, are chosen experiences, without me understanding the consequence, just wanting to live this adventure. And then the other ones are unchosen ones too, and things that happen in life because we're humans. And then this book is really about home as a practice, and self-belonging as a way to stabilize yourself no matter where you are and what happens around you. So that is what the book is actually about. It's about the learnings from the experiences.
Okay, so that is all from your own perspective.
It is based on my experiences, but it is not meant to teach other people how to do it. And it's not a guidebook. It is more like a book that sits beside you while you are figuring things out yourself, because
Uh-huh.
I didn't have a book for that. And I thought, with all the experiences that I have had, maybe
Mm-hmm.
someone else can feel less lonely.
Yes.
And also, I truly believe that belonging and feeling at home is really a practice of coming back to yourself again and
Mm-hmm.
again. Yeah.
Okay, so it is a very helpful lecture for anybody who is somewhere else and feeling lost.
When the old version of you no longer fits your current life, or
Uh-huh.
if you are very well put together on the outside but on the inside feeling unsettled. I was all that as well. I mean,
Okay.
I have distilled that lesson into my writing, and it was
Mm-hmm.
also a very beautiful exercise for myself to try to make some sense out of who I have become, right?
Right.
And all the things I have experienced, all the adventures, and putting together all the things that I love about my life, including the difficulties.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, because I mean, people are always going through things. It's nice that other people are going through similar things. It's
Correct.
comforting.
Yeah. To feel less lonely, I
Yes.
think, and to feel seen, right? To feel
Yes.
seen. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And where can you find the book?
The book is available on Amazon. It's also available on all the bookstores in the world, actually. In the US, you can order it from Barnes& and Noble or anywhere else. It's in the World Book Catalog.
Okay, I will just make sure that you'll also find it, the listener, uh, in the show notes.
Oh, thank you,
Yeah,
Victoria.
of course, I'm gonna add it. And was also like loneliness a big part of your struggles when you
Mm.
were like when you're working internationally, or like when you were moving around?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say it's part of it. Not maybe not always, not constant. Finding your own people is not that
It's
easy.
hard. Yes.
Uh, uh, Also, at different times in life, your people look different,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I think one of the other things that I've experienced is as I change, and that happens when you experience a lot or you move a lot, you change. Or even if you don't, because experiences are not always about physical move or physical migration, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
also about emotional migration, identity migration. Like if you become a mother, for example, you
Mm-hmm.
change, right? In your circle
You
of
did
friends would change.
change.
Or
Yes.
if you change jobs, you change. Your circle of friends
Yes.
change. So these are all migrations, and there will always be a form of loneliness that is not because you are alone. That's because you're not seen, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that feeling was something that I have experienced quite often, actually,
Okay.
quite often, because I became like this mosaic of experiences, of values, of choices. And the more layers I had, the harder it was for me to be seen in a simplified way. So every time I have to like you know, adjust. And this was a big struggle with this life abroad for the
Mm-hmm.
longest time. And now I'm slowly, let's say in the last 3, 4 years, I started to be able to give the language for that feeling. Because before that, I had the feeling I couldn't really express it.
Right. So
But
you were
now,
just
yeah.
meaning you were looking for the vocabulary, right? The right
Mhm.
vocabulary for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I think when I could give the voice to this and describe it and
Mm-hmm.
and really accept it as it is, it becomes better.
Yes.
It becomes better. It reduces the inner conflict. It softens it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is this also your resilience?
Yeah, I think first of all, resilience is everybody's birth trait. I think all babies are resilient, but somehow, like when I was speaking to my husband, because my brand is resilience. It's the name of my company right now. Because I work with entrepreneurs to build resilience, and not necessarily just about personal resilience, but it's also about business resilience. And the
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneur and the company are
Uh-huh.
one. Yeah, you can't separate them if you are
Yeah.
a business founder, and you know that yourself.
Yes.
And my husband said, "Oh, resilience always sounds really tough and really hard," but I actually don't agree with that, because I think resilience is actually a soft skill. It is a
Uh-huh.
skill that we all had it. We all had it like the day we were born. But then the world started to introduce new ideas to us, and things should appear effortless, or life should have, I don't know. Nowadays, everything looks beautiful, right? On social media, all the successful people apparently just do it super easily. But I don't think that is true. And I think the trait of a resilient person is always about being able to have very clear acceptance of the reality or
Mm-hmm.
whatever they're dealing with, and they also have to trust that they can find ways to get over the challenge. But all this is also about giving yourself the time and not putting yourself under pressure, and
Mm-hmm.
also seeing whatever challenge you have in front of you as a new subject you have to learn. I
Right.
spoke about this in my TED talk.
Uh-huh.
It's called the resilience equation. But yeah, I think I th- I think it's not something that is unique to me. It's everybody's story. Our
Mm-hmm.
life, our humanity is all about resilience, right? We wouldn't be here.
Right. You're right.
Yeah.
Because it's not always easy, You just, I don't know. Would you describe it also as enduring?
Yeah. Yeah, I think sometimes now, especially with social media, maybe I'm very aware I'm blaming social media for so many things right now.
Yeah.
But it
Everybody
is,
is.
yeah, it is and it isn't bad for various reasons. But I think we become really allergic to inconveniences. People, yeah, people just think, oh, I should avoid inconvenience. I should avoid, when someone is annoying me, I should just cut them off. I mean, I don't understand that, because I'm like, you need people in your life. You need people in your life, and you need to be able to be okay with some things not being perfect.
And you are right. And I think maybe this is part of social media because everybody is just seeing all the goods and positives and beauties. But if you think like about like our parents or grandparents and even before, I think they never had convenience. You know?
Yeah. I was listening to this podcast interview. I can't remember exactly who said it, but it's like 80% of life is actually
Inconvenience.
inconvenience and boring. And
Oh,
that makes us resilient.
yes. And then also if you have that perspective, it makes life really positive. You're not
Correct.
like,
It's like, oh,
hey,
that's just
if
life.
it's like 80%, then I have a good life because I don't have 80% of boring or bad inconvenience. It's
That's true.
not 80%.
Yes, that's true. I think if you can do boring, which is inconvenient, of course, because we want to have fun all the time,
Yeah.
then you're already pretty tough. You can deal with
Uh-huh.
boring, right?
Yes.
Most people just want fun and entertainment, and I don't. I mean, I'm risking sounding like a grandma here, but I believe I think that is what resilience is about.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And if you just for you, listener, if you want to find out more about resilience, you can check out Nina's website, The Resilient Expert.
theresiliencementor.com, or you can also listen to my TED Talk on YouTube.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah, if you Google my name, Nina Aziz Justin, and you should find the TED Talk.
I'm just gonna put all your links in the show notes.
Thank you so much.
Like Nina, you will like easily be found by my listeners.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you.
No problem. And I also wanted to come back to one subject because I think we are a little bit short on time here. So you also have a daughter that has trip 12. Can you explain that a little bit? And then also have a question about that for the expats parents.
Okay. Happy to talk about that because, first of all, trip 12 is a rare neurological condition. When my daughter was diagnosed, she was 1 in 21 in the world with that condition. So no one knows about it. Nobody.
Sure.
I mean, we felt like we were just lost in the dark.
Yes.
We just had like this cave opening and just darkness, and someone says, okay, you start walking, right? And you cannot turn back. This is the only way to go.
Yeah.
So that was how bad it felt at the time.
Yeah.
Because my daughter at the time was two and a half when she was diagnosed, but prior to the diagnostics, she was going through a lot of tests that we all had to go through with her as well, because it's a genetic condition, but it is also only in her and not inherited. So it's basically just a mutation that happens.
Right.
Nature makes sometimes little glitches. And unfortunately or fortunately, and I now look at it as a blessing, that we are the chosen ones. So what that means is that we don't know what the future would look like for her, nor for ourselves as her parents. We had to take one day at a time, and we had to look at her as a person and try to help her in any way we need to help her. So there is no definition yet, because the doctors don't know it either.
Right.
And what we knew at the time was just symptomatic. Like she couldn't walk, she couldn't talk, she couldn't do so many things her age would normally do. So she missed all her milestones, right? So then from that point onwards, we had to figure out what's next and where do we place her. When you do not have any of these kind of well-known conditions, you don't have a system.
I see.
They build schools for Down syndrome children because there are enough Down syndrome children, even though that is still a minority, right? Among them.
But people know there are like programs.
Correct. So they know more or less what will happen to these children, how you can support the parents, how you can support the children, what are the things that you need to think about for the future, what you need to prepare yourself with. Whereas in our case, we didn't have that. So it was just difficult, of course, at the time. And that was another grief I had to navigate. Being abroad definitely added another layer to our lives. My husband is French. So we were living in the Netherlands when Isabel was diagnosed. So she's a third culture kid. We have the Dutch on one hand, the French on the other hand, the Malaysian. So we had also all the cultural inputs, all the cultural perspective on disability and how we should approach it, and spiritually as well. So it was a lot. It was very difficult. I think that was when I had to really look at myself, and we all had to reorganize our values, what life means, what's happiness, what's success, what's important. And and start to look for ways forward. And I think one of which is to make sure that we have our infrastructure in place, knowing that we have friends, surround ourselves with people who can hold a space for us. Maybe they will never understand, but they can let us be sad when we need to be sad and not judge our emotional messiness at the time.
Okay.
And also having the right network. So it took us a while to find other parents who have other children with other disabilities, because obviously no one had what
Yes,
my daughter,
yours.
what my
Okay, yeah,
daughter had.
yeah.
But that made us feel less alone. So
Uh-huh.
I'm a very strong proponent of having a good community around you for life abroad, and obviously understanding what the system wherever you live in can do for you. And the Netherlands definitely has helped us a lot, and now we are in France. So a totally different system, totally different view of disability.
Yeah.
But still, in both places, I would say the most important is to have a good community and support system
And
around.
was that also then a reason you moved to France, because it's where your husband is from, to have also maybe family support?
Yes and no, because my husband is from Paris and we don't live in
Uh-huh.
Paris and we don't have any family members here.
Uh-huh.
However, we need to prepare our daughter for the future, for the time when we probably won't be here anymore. And she has a French passport, and
Uh-huh.
making sure that she's already placed in the French system is really important.
Okay.
We live, we are new here as well. We still are, in the process of figuring out what's the best way forward, but we wanted
I
to
see.
see which environment would offer her the best setup for the future.
Okay. So it was also a reason for your move to France.
Yes, just to test it out to see what this system would look like for my daughter in the future or
Uh-huh.
even now, because just like everything else in the world, well, I don't know how to explain this. Okay, maybe for example, how a society, for example, in Malaysia would view disability is totally
Uh-huh.
different than the society in France, right?
Yeah.
So the support system would be different because you have a different
Mm.
perspective on it.
Yes.
And in Malaysia, for example, the child will always remain the responsibility of the family. The family will take care. So if your mom and dad pass away, then it's your brothers, sisters, cousins, whatever.
Okay.
It's never the government or the
Okay.
system. Whereas in France, you have a lot of support system from the government, and it's the same in the Netherlands. The
Yeah.
only reason why we have decided to try the French system is because my daughter has the French passport, and that
Uh-huh.
in the Netherlands, we do not have any family member at all. So here, there could be some, you know, help coming in the future
Yes.
whenever we can't do it, from the larger family.
The larger family, yes.
Yeah.
And then also that makes sense that if France has some programs for disabled children or people, yes, definitely makes more sense than choose your side of the family in
Yeah, because
Malaysia.
my family is so far away as well.
Yes.
And also, my daughter doesn't have a Malaysian passport. So that's also the other side of like life abroad. And
Uh-huh.
that for me, I have to adjust to also a new country after living for such a long time in the Netherlands.
Uh-huh.
It's a new layer of adjustment for myself.
Uh-huh. And how is it to finding a network in France?
Still working on it.
Oh, you're still working on it.
Well,
Yes.
I have been here before, right? I have lived here before. I speak the language, but still, language is not the only reason why one would feel comfortable, right?
Right.
We have
Of
to feel
course.
comfortable when we feel like really a form of belonging.
Yes, I talked to somebody else who is working a lot with people who are moving to France, and she told me it usually takes 5 years.
Yes, it takes some
Uh-huh.
time. And, French people are also very reserved.
Yes, they're
Yeah.
not like like open, they don't welcome you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the funny thing is when I worked and lived in Germany and I did that for 5 years, I was warned always by when I left England, my friends in England, they were saying, whatever happened, you can always come back,
Uh-huh.
just in case you don't like it or you find them difficult because Germans have the reputation of being distant.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't have that. I didn't have that experience at all.
Okay.
So the moment I landed in Germany, I think the first 3 weeks I was invited almost every day by somebody because they all felt sorry for me, not having family. So it was all. I mean, every night I could go for dinner at someone's.
Okay.
All my colleagues at work were like just so kind and so generous. So I didn't have that feeling. So I
Oh,
think
I see.
also
Okay.
it really depends, right?
Mm-hmm.
You
Yes,
have the
it
general
really
atmosphere
depends.
and you could be surprised.
Yeah,
And I think I wanted adventure. I got adventure.
you did. You did. 100%.
Yes, 100%.
All right. Well said. Well, a very nice ending to our conversation.
Oh,
All
well,
right.
I hope you enjoyed the conversation as
Oh,
well.
I did. I hope the listeners did too.
And do you find yourself in it, in anything that we spoke about?
Yes, I mean, of course, like with the resilience part and then the grieving part at some points, but I never
Mhm.
thought about it before, you know?
Mhm.
It's like, because also, like, you still always, even if you're exploring something super nice in a different part of the world, like, you always kind of miss then still your old friends from home, kind of. But I don't know, it's just always part of it.
Yeah, I think that's the part that very often people do not talk about because it's very confusing and it makes us sound like we do not understand it. But I actually believe it's part of it. It's part of living abroad. It's part of living away from places that you have lived in before. And it just shows the continuation of a relationship that you have with
Yeah.
the places, and also with yourself, with the different version of yourself, because you kind of let life stretch you. So it stretches you
Yeah.
and you widen your range of
Mm-hmm.
emotions and widen your range of experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And now you become this very capable person, one of which you are now capable with dealing with these complex emotions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right. Thank you so much for being on my podcast, Nina.
You are welcome. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. Yes. All right.
Dankeschön.
Yeah, no, danke schön.
Okay.
That was my talk with Nina. So definitely watch her TED Talk on YouTube and find the link in the show notes as well for her website and for the book. And if you want to be a guest on my show, please reach out to me. You will find all the info in the show notes. And also don't forget to support the podcast. I hope you had a good time and I hope you will tune in again next week. Until then, I will see you. Bye bye.